What's going on, everybody? It's your host, Moose. It's been a few days, but we're back. It's episode 18 of $10 Sports. Got a great episode for you. Super Bowl preview. We'll go over our picks from Championship Weekend also. We're getting closer and closer to the end of the NFL year, so closer and closer to finalizing our final records. So we'll do that. We'll look at some of those prop bets as well. We're really excited to see how long Demi Lovato is going to take on the national anthem. All that and more coming at you this episode of $10 Sports. Like we always do, let's hit that intro.
$10
Sports.
What's going on, everybody? Again, it's your host, Moose. Had a minor crash with the intro there. So if you're watching us live on YouTube, sorry about that. But we are back. And there is MRod, the co-host. We've got him here.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Super
Bowl weekend. Guess we're very limited on the amount of parlays we can do, so this $10 parlay is not going to have many teams, as we all know. But hey, we'll see where we go.
Yeah, not many teams, and definitely not a lot of dollars there. Mike showing MRod showing the miniature football.
Yeah, man, just sad that football season could be gone. Could be gone after this Sunday for months.
Yeah, football season will be gone. We got the XFL coming, though. So don't forget to find one of our other shows, The Viper's Nest, which we just recorded episode 2. You'll see that up on YouTube and your favorite podcasting platforms by the weekend. So make sure to give us a listen on Viper's Nest. $10 Sports. Probably in the upcoming weeks, we'll start transitioning to maybe once every other week. We'll be looking at NHL and NBA and NCAA scores and throwing out some picks for those. Probably
maybe some picks on what we think free agents are going to sign, like Tom Brady.
That's right.
There's odds on where he might sign. Maybe we'll go with that just to make sure we incorporate some NFL in there as well.
And I love all the misdirection that's been going on with that. All these random articles like Tom Brady's enrolling his kids in Nashville. Is he going to play for the Titans?
Took a very cryptic picture at Gillette Stadium.
Oh, he cleared out his box. Oh my God. Say, Tom Brady. He was at the UFC match in Las Vegas. Going to the Raiders for sure.
I hate to see if he takes a vacation, to like somewhere in Canada. Is he going to CFL?
Going to the Edmonton Eskimos immediately. Or if he goes to London, oh my God. What team is moving to London? NFL is going to London finally. So we'll keep track of that, of course, the Jameis Winston tracker. As soon as there's any big Buccaneers news, we'll have a special edition of Bucking Hangover, of course, especially if we, hopefully, like we should, sign Shaq Barrett. And maybe we'll see the end of Jameis and we'll be moving on to Tom Brady or a drafted quarterback or Teddy Bridgewater.
Has it been up there?
Yeah, that's right. Phillip Rivers has been a big name. But now Teddy Bridgewater's name has been out there too. If for some reason New Orleans deciding Taysom Hill is the quarterback of the future, which I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I was saying, they probably saw what Lamar Jackson did over there, and they're like, you know what? Taysom Hill can run, he can catch, he can throw the ball.
Yeah, he can tackle, he can do everything.
Yeah. So why not?
So before we get started, of course, make sure you follow us and you subscribe to us on YouTube. Our channel's The Sports Heap. You'll find our 5 shows and more soon to come, as well as some of our friends join the podcasting game and our podcasting channel with their interests. So look for The Sports Heap on YouTube. You'll find all our shows there on our channel. This show, of course, $10 Sports. You can watch us live when we go live or pre-recorded shows. And we're up to episode 18 now on your favorite podcasting platforms. Apple got the iHeartRadio logo on there finally after MRod was giving me such a hard time. Got it on there. Google Podcasts, and Spotify. Of course, before we move on into championship weekend and our recap of that, the big news, of course, Kobe Bryant dying tragically in a helicopter accident over the weekend. I know that kind of hit me hard too. I'm not the biggest NBA fan, but Kobe for sure, best player of our generation, arguably best player of all time when it's all said and done. I think had maybe the most kind of Black Mamba was such a quiet player. He was in your face, but I think he did a lot of stuff in the background that we'll never know in terms of philanthropy and really affecting people's lives. So kind of hit me hard. It's like, wow, Kobe. I thought it was a hoax. My girlfriend's like, hey, Kobe Bryant died. I'm like, no, it's like, all right, cool, Sunday morning hoax. All right, haha, TMZ, you got us. And no, I couldn't believe that.
It was definitely tough. Like, I got a little choked up when I read the article, and just condolences to the Bryant family and all the families involved in that tragedy. It's definitely, I mean, not something to really puts things into perspective that life's just short, and at any moment things can change so easily. You got on the helicopter going to go take his daughter to a basketball game, and blink of an eye, just and so quickly. So just everybody, just one thing we can learn from it is don't take every day for granted. Every day is a gift. It's a blessing. So it's all my 2 cents there. And
of course, rest in peace. And like you said, condolences out to the Bryant family and the families of all, of course, the friends and family that accompanied them on the helicopter trip. So some downer news there. Hopefully, we wish the family the best, and hopefully they can try their best to move through this tough time. As we transition now into championship weekend, only had really 2 picks to go on for each of us. We got MRod's picks from last week, picking the 49ers, and was picking the Titans there on the upset, and that didn't go his way. I know it was a few weeks ago, MRod. Talk to us about your picks.
Yeah, 49ers, like I said, the Green Bay Packers, and as we've been saying, they're just not a good team. They're probably the most, I don't want to say overrated, but they were like I can't think of a word. They were like a team that fooled people thinking they were good, but they really weren't. Yeah, they had a good offseason record, number 2 seed, got the bye week, but look at their schedule, and they just weren't good. Any good team they played in the regular season, they got beat. So I knew this was going to be like an easy win for the 49ers, and I knew that they were going to beat them by, and like I said in our last show, I wouldn't be surprised if they win by 2 to 3 touchdowns, which is what happened. And then the Titans, I just thought, the magic was still rolling. It's kind of like, when you watch March Madness, and you got like a team who was like a 13 seed, and they make it all the way to like the Elite 8, and you think that the magic is there. And
you're cheering for them. That's the team you want.
Yeah, and that was just what like the Titans was for me. The way they were playing, the Mike Rabel, just everything about them. I just liked them, and I just, just like those Cinderella teams in the March Madness, the clock eventually strikes midnight, and it's over. That's what it was for the Titans.
Just kind of sad because they almost had them. Like I think they had they had a lead at one point, and that might be the downfall for the Chiefs as we look into the Super Bowl preview in a few minutes. Is I don't know if they can afford to fall behind the 49ers, because that defense is on a different level than any other team I think they've played all year.
Absolutely, and also they have a really good run game. So if the 49ers need to, they can drain that clock too, especially if they have the lead.
So tough loss there, going 1-1. Losing that chance at that almost $40, unfortunately, for the pick. And moving on to my picks, opposite of your picks. I'll put the X on the wrong one. I should go over to the Packers. So the big X on the Packers. They were going to be my upset pick, and I knew it all. I knew it all along. I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe I was like thinking that the NFL secretly wanted that rematch for Super Bowl one, and they were going to find a way to make it happen. Especially with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers being a decent draw. But it's kind of how we talked about all year. Who were the Packers? They were probably the most overrated, like worst 13-3 team in recent memory, for sure. I don't even know how they won 13 games. It's crazy. A lot of dysfunction. Aaron Rodgers looks like he hates the game of football. Like he just didn't dive in for the fumble. A key play there. Most other quarterbacks are when they fumble the ball, try and get the ball back or at least jump on the pile or.
Remember when Cam Newton did that in the Super Bowl?
No, refresh my memory.
Super Bowl against the Broncos. Remember there was a fumble and he didn't die for it.
Yeah.
Everyone gave him crap for that. And
Yeah.
He thought that he was risking injury.
That's
and he
right.
Out of the game.
So I mean, I guess Aaron Rodgers was thinking he was going to risk injury, and he definitely didn't get the criticism that Cam Newton did for it. But a great example of Aaron Rodgers. I mean, definitely on the decline, I would say. Maybe he's getting close to the last, definitely on the back nine of his career. And then for me, I thought the Chiefs was a pretty easy pick. As much as I was also riding that Titans high wave, I just didn't think they could outscore them. I mean, their game plan had to be pretty similar to what they did against the Ravens, which for the most part were able to accomplish. Did Henry have more than 100 yards? I think he struggled a little bit.
I
think they held him under 100
70 yards or something like that.
I think they held him under the 100, which ultimately I think swung the game. I mean, they had to trust Tannehill to make some big throws. He made a couple plays here and there, but ultimately it was the Patrick Mahomes show. Like it's probably going to be in the Super Bowl. So, Chiefs taking the big win there. Unfortunately, didn't hit the parlay, and then missed the teaser too. With the Packers losing by that's like 20 points, losing the teaser.
Why don't we switch to Moose Cam? Because I don't think people want to look at me and hear you talk.
That's right. I'm here looking at you on my screen. I feel like I'm having a conversation with you. I'm here looking at you. But yeah, back to Moose Cam. I'm always bad at switching to Moose Cam. So with that, let's hop in.
Moose Cam is the money cam.
It's the money cam. Let's hop into the game coming up. Of course, the big Super Bowl 54. I always forget LIV. Everyone was going big on Super Bowl LIV because I guess that's a club over in Miami. It's like, oh, that was like perfect marketing for that club for Super Bowl Live or Live or whatever the name of the club is. But here are your odds for Super Bowl 54 in Miami. 49ers and the Chiefs. Basically a even game. I think the Chiefs are getting a slight edge. Tell me how you think this is going to go.
I think this game depends on who scores first. So the coin toss is going to have like some. It's going to be a big deciding factor how this game's going to kick off. Who wins the coin toss is going to score first. Because if the 49ers score first, that defense is really good. And if the Chiefs start to fall behind a little bit, 49ers are going to run out the clock because they have the run game to do it. Chiefs obviously don't really have much of a run game, so they're going to be very dependent on their passing in the first down. So the Chiefs score first, and they get ahead. I just don't think I trust Garoppolo to bring the team back. I just don't trust him. I just don't think he's there yet.
And he was basically Ryan Tannehill last week. I think he threw 7 passes against the Packers.
And that's the only knock I have on them. He's had a couple of good games for this year. I know he had a great game against the Saints earlier in the year, but overall, I think overall, I don't think the team really relied on Jimmy Garoppolo winning games. They relied on that defense and relied on that run game. So if they fall behind, after the first quarter or two, I would really be really concerned if I was a 49ers fan. But the Chiefs, I mean, they have a very good game. If you could take out Tyreek Hill, and take out what's his name?
Oh,
Travis Kelce. You
Kelsey,
got
yeah.
a pretty good shot because that leaves Miko Hardman and Sammy Watkins there, and Tyreek Hill's gonna be the deciding factor there. But I mean, Mahomes, that guy is just an incredible talent, incredible quarterback. But I'm not gonna say who I'm gonna pick to win here. I'll save it for the picks, but I think it's gonna be winning the coin toss. Is gonna be basically who scores first. Is gonna be the one to win this game.
So I think you brought up some great points, and I think when you're thinking about Jimmy Garoppolo and not trusting him, I don't know if I would go that far. And the game that I think of is the game against the Saints, where it was an absolute shootout, and Garoppolo had to win him that game.
No,
So
he played well that game, but I'm saying, and like for the most part, I mean, he was relied on for a couple of games, but he wasn't the reason they won. They won because of defense and run game. That's the main reason they won most of their games.
fair enough. So I think again it's top ranked offense against basically the top ranked defense. I don't know. This is for me. You know, I don't know if a lot of people wanted to see this, but I think as the playoffs came to fruition, we knew we were heading towards this series, and I think everyone's pretty excited about this. I'm pretty excited to see Mahomes against the best defense. I think this is going to be a great. I think this is the best Super Bowl we could have had because I think the Ravens aren't quite there yet. I know they dominated the league most of the year and had the rough game against Tennessee. I don't know if I wanted to see the Ravens. I want to see Patrick Mahomes there. This is really basically the next generation of quarterback, right? We're seeing Aaron Rodgers on his way out, Phillip Rivers on his way out, Tom Brady with 1 year maybe left in the tank. It's time now to pass the torch on to that next generation of quarterbacks, and Patrick Mahomes, I think, is going to be the name for the upcoming generation. So I'm excited to see him and how he can take on really a fairly dominant defense with Bosa, Richard Sherman, kind of a resurgence this year after leaving Seattle and being with San Francisco the last few years. So we will see. Let's
Another
bounce.
thing about
Yeah.
this Super Bowl here is these two teams. Like it's really hard. Everyone will ask me, "Oh, who are you going for?" And it's like really hard for me to really choose because realistically, I mean, I like both teams.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both good teams. They're not like teams that people hate. Like like the Patriots, you root against them. Eagles on Super Bowl, you kind of either hate or love the Eagles. But here it's just one of those teams that you're just kind of like, unless you're a fan of like obviously like a division rival like the Seahawks or Rams or you're a Broncos or Raiders fan, you really don't have any animosity towards any of these teams. So it's just
No.
kind of like, oh man, I just want to see some good football.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, they really don't have any players that you can really hate. I
So
mean,
say likable players. I mean, the most controversial is probably like Richard Sherman, who's
or no, not even Richard Sherman. I mean, he just, I mean, he's calmed down since Seattle, but yeah, the only I say the most controversial is probably Tyreek Hill with his off the field
yeah,
issues.
fair, yeah,
But Richard Sherman, he's not. I mean, he's not really like.
as vocal as he used to be.
Yeah, but he's also not like an off the field issue or someone that you would say, okay, that's a bad guy. No, he's someone who just he's entertaining for the most part. But yeah, it's definitely not as vocal as he used to be. I mean, he was ahead of his time trying to be an XFL player when he was like remember a few years ago.
It's Crabtree, LOB.
Don't ever talk about.
Don't ever talk about me, Crabtree.
That was great.
One matchup I'm really looking forward to is I think we're seeing the two best tight ends in the game go head to head as well, with
Sure.
Kittle and Kelsey. So I want, and we'll look at the prop bets coming up as we get towards the end of the show. But I think they're going to be my dark horses for MVP, and it might be the value bets to make some money. Of course, the quarterback's always the favorites for MVP, but I'm really hoping that this is the year that someone else makes a huge play or plays to be able to win the MVP. And I'm hoping it's either going to be Kelsey or Kittle.
Oh, it'll be a quarterback. I mean, the reason I know that is because when the Patriots won a Super Bowl against the Falcons, James White should have been MVP. But they gave it to Brady anyways.
Well, that's kind of what I'm saying though, is because we don't have the big name factor like Tom Brady. I mean, everyone loves Mahomes and whatnot, and everyone loves how the way Garoppolo looks. So I think this is really the prime opportunity for a non-quarterback, to win it, unless Mahomes is absolutely lights out, throws for 500 yards, like he's perfectly capable of doing. But this could be the year if he spreads the ball out, or if Kittle or Kelsey have a crazy game. I think this could be the year.
Yeah.
So let's hop over to those official picks. Finally, I'm gonna turn it over to MRod first. Got the picks for them. There they are.
Go. And my decision here is I am not, like I said, I like both teams, but who I think I'm going to win for betting purposes, I'm going to go with. Actually, you know what, Moose? First week one, $10 sports. I think I wore his Garoppolo jersey.
You did.
I'm wearing his Garoppolo jersey again here on our final show of the NFL season.
You've gotten some good mileage from it, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyways, going back here, I'm going with the 49ers. I think they have a great run game. But, I kind of think about it. Why am I rooting for 49ers? I'm going back to the old slogan. It's defense wins championships. And I'm thinking about the 2002 Super Bowl Buccaneers and Raiders. At the time, Raiders were probably the best offense in the league. And they went up against the best defense in the league. And the best defense in the league, you saw what happened there. Bucs beat them. What was the final score? Wasn't it 52 to
48 to 21 or 28 or 24 or something like that. It was
something like
48-24. Bucks had two defensive scores, I think, in that one.
And I mean, I know, we kind of go back and you think about it, and kind of cheated because the John Gruden probably had the playbook for the Raiders and knew what their play they were calling since he was the coach the year before. But also, I look back at some other Super Bowls and I think about the Ravens against the Giants, and Giants had a really good offense that year with Kerry Collins, Dickie Barber. Ravens ended up winning that Super Bowl with Trent Dilfer. And just every time I think about Super Bowls and I think about who won, is it the power offense or was it the power defense? And more than not, it's usually the power defense. Going back to the old saying that we always heard, defense wins championships.
Very good, and I respect the San Francisco pick mostly because they're bringing back the running game, and then my pick might be a little bit different here, but I respect San Francisco because them and a few other teams are bringing back old school NFL football, controlling the clock, just like we saw with the Titans, bringing back the fullback, and actually the Chiefs have a fullback as well, even though they don't have a great running back, but I'm happy to see old smash mouth football coming back. I like that you picked the over because I think this is going to be a little bit of a shootout back and forth. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
I think the over.
I can't see containment. I can't see.
There's no way
containing Mahomes at all. You just got to hope you can keep up and make some big defensive plays there.
Yep. Hope you can maybe force a turnover, maybe a special teams gaffe. But you're right. Unless Mahomes kind of craps the bed and has the worst game of his career, I think it's gotta be the over on this one for sure. So you're paying your parlay pays 3-1. It looks like. So your $10 parlay is almost at $30. Got Moose's picks. Gonna up it up to the $25 parlay of the week, just so it's a little bit interesting. I'm taking the Chiefs, taking them straight up, and then also taking the over because there's just no way the over doesn't hit on this one, right? And I like the Chiefs. I like the defense wins championships. Yes, that's great for football back in 2002, like you said. But this is a different league. It's offensive oriented, and I think it's Patrick Mahomes' time. It probably should have been last year until they ran into New England. I just don't think they were ready for that team. But I know they don't have a running game. They don't need it. They have Mahomes. I think they're going to take care of business. Their defense is also much improved. So their defense was in the upper half of the league as well. So they're nothing to sniff at. Definitely an improvement from last year where they were giving up It was almost like watching a Big Ten team with the Chiefs. They were scoring 50, giving up 40. So for that reason, because I trust in Patrick Mahomes, because I want to hear his Kermit the Frog voice after the game, and I want to see his luscious curls, and most of all, I want to see a happy Andy Reid telling us that his next meal is going to be a cheeseburger. I'm picking the Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. No questions asked.
And going back to my whole thing about, I know you said the 2000s, but I brought up a list here of past Super Bowl winners. So I'm looking at, okay, 2018, Eagles beat the Patriots 41-33. Eagles had a pretty good defense that year.
Shootout, 41-33, not a defensive game. Trash.
Denver had the best defense in the league against the best offense in the league at the time, where Cam Newton won Super Bowl MVP. Denver won 24-10. Go back to Seattle, Legion of Boom, best defense in the league at the time, playing against Peyton Manning, 55 touchdown season, best offense in the league. Seattle won 43-8. Go back to the Ravens against the 49ers. Ravens, obviously best defense in the league with Ray Lewis. San Francisco at the time, they had a very good offense with Colin Kaepernick at his prime. Baltimore won.
Prime of 1 year.
1.5. So that's just what I'm saying. Is look at the teams there. Team with the most dominant defense usually are the ones that win the Super Bowl there. So, I mean, I'm looking at the private one like the Rams and the New England. They both had really good offenses. New England and Atlanta, they're both more offensive teams. So, but I'm saying team that had going into the league where top 5, top 3 defense are known as a very good defense team usually won Super Bowl. The only time that did not happen was the Bears and the Colts, when the Bears were a really good defense, Brian Urlacher and all them, and they lost to the Colts in Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, when you have Rex Grossman as your starting quarterback, not going to go well for you. Talk about overperforming Super Bowl teams. Rex Grossman carrying the load, getting them to the Super Bowl. But of course, the Colts taking care of business there. That was a great Super Bowl. I think I was still up in Notre Dame for that one.
Yeah, because you were going for both teams. You said,
my Colts, my Bears. Oh, we were in good shape. I was feeling great. So taking the Chiefs and the over for the parlay, paying $61 on 25. So odds are a little bit less than yours, like 2.5 to 1 or something like that. For mine, got a Moose's Monster teaser, basically just teasing the results. I'll get Chiefs plus 4.5, and the over drops down to 48. I'll throw $25 at that as well. Throwing $20 to $1 my way, so a little bit of a risk there. I feel pretty confident on this one. If the Chiefs do in fact take the win, I'm kind of curious though if the 49ers take it. I don't know if the game will be close. I mean, what do you think it's right now? They have the spread at 1.5. I don't know. I don't know if that's. I don't know how I feel about the spread.
Yeah, 1.5. I guess they're just kind of looking at it as, hey, we got the best defense against the best offense. So I mean, it's really hard to choose who to win. So let's put that 1.5 on Mahomes.
Yeah, why not? Good old Vegas is gonna, but Vegas always finds a way. So maybe it's gonna be a shootout and the missed field goal, missed extra point, or something like that. It's gonna be the difference in the game. So you never know. Let's see, did we have any other picks? I think we're gonna hop over to the prop bets. Yeah, let's get on the second screen, and we've got some fun party props, and we'll go through a few of these. MRod. Of course, Demi Lovato singing the national anthem. Right now, the most popular number with the closest odds settling at 2 minutes and 4 seconds. They have a couple different props with the time differing and the odds differing, of course. But this one seems to be the most even. Is it going to be over 2 minutes and 4 seconds or under 2 minutes and 4 seconds?
She likes the spotlight and she likes the attention, so she'll be up there as long as possible. So I'd say I give her the over.
Gonna take the over on that one. That's actually the favorite there.
Yeah.
I probably would take the over on that. Talked about the importance of winning the coin toss is going to be heads or tails. That one's always a popular one. And then, of course, who's going to win the coin toss? Chiefs are the home team, so it'll be the 49ers calling the shot there. I like this one. Which coach will be mentioned first? Kyle Shanahan, or is it going to be Andy Reid?
Oh, Andy Reid, 100%.
Think it's going to be Andy Reid?
Oh, absolutely.
Got some fun ones. Will the opening kickoff be a touchback? Probably. Will there be a score in the first 5 minutes of the game? Probably.
Yeah, I'd say probably.
I like this one. Which commercial will air first? Commercial for Donald Trump or for Michael Bloomberg, who's been spending $200 million on his Democratic campaign?
What
Blowing up the TV waves.
what channel is this on?
It's on Fox.
On Fox? It'd be Donald Trump then.
Trump's is a heavy favorite, which is really I'm curious to see if what his commercial will look like. First penalty, first scoring game. How many songs will be played during halftime? Of course, they go in J-Lo and Beyonce this year, right?
No, J-Lo and Shakira.
Shakira. I saw an article that Jay-Z was, for some reason, part of this, or maybe he was doing the producing for it. So maybe that's why I had Beyonce in my mind. But I like this one. Will A-Rod be shown on TV during halftime, during J-Lo's performance, maybe?
Oh, absolutely. They have to.
Yes is actually the underdog there. We got No's slight favorite, but I wonder if they would show A-Rod. That might be one to make a quick buck on.
I'd say yes because it's on Fox, and I think he's like a baseball person on Fox.
Baseball analyst.
So they'll put him on there. I mean, if it was on another channel, I would say probably not, but he's on Fox, so got to put him on there.
How about total passing yards for Patty Mahomes? Over under is 305.5.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 305.5. They don't have a running game. He has to throw.
So over or under?
Oh, over.
They're going to go over the 305.
Absolutely.
Okay. That is the favorite right now. Speaking of rushing, how many rushing yards will Damian Williams have? Over under a 51.5.
They share the ball too much. I mean, McCoy's going to have some carries. I mean, Williams will have some carries. Darrell Williams will have some carries too.
Yeah, they have a four-headed running attack, right? I think they have like three or four.
And you said they have a fullback.
Yeah, their fullback. They'll do a dive every once in a while. Let's look at some of the special bets. There's some good ones. I don't know if you're interested in wagering on the Puppy Bowl, MRod. Puppy Bowl taking place in the afternoon before.
I'll let you take that one.
I haven't bet on the Puppy Bowl in quite a long time. I'm a little bit out of the Puppy Bowl game, but you have some kind of random bets, like the age of the MVP of the Puppy Bowl. Are they going to be over 17.5 weeks or under 17.5 weeks? First letter of the MVP? The game spread between Team Fluff and Team Rough? Let's had some cross sports bets, which were kind of meh. And see, this is what I'm talking about. The changing odds for the length of the national anthem. 2 minutes and 4 seems to be the consensus. Then you got under 2 or over 2 minutes, being lots of people saying it's going to be over the 2 minutes. Of course, is she going to wear a skirt, a dress, or a gown? Yes and no. I was joking with my girlfriend, and I'm like, "Oh, do you think she'll omit a word from the national anthem?" And I was explaining to her how betting works. She's like, "Oh, you have to wager $600 to win $100?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, because this is like a sure thing that she's not going to forget a word." And she's like, "Oh, well, I would take the yes because it's a smaller risk and you could win some money there." I'm like, I don't think she's going to forget a word.
Yeah, I don't think. I'm sure she's probably saying that every day for the past 2 months.
Yeah, practicing for. Here's a fun one. How many times will the Patriots 28-3 comeback be mentioned?
I would say none.
None?
It's old already. The only time he mentioned is if some team is at that point where there's this much of a lead, and they'll be like, "Oh, the Patriots did it." But other than that, I mean, it's been like 4 Super Bowls ago. It's played. It's overplayed his thing.
How about Katie Sowers being mentioned as the first female coach in the Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah, that'll definitely be mentioned. No, she'll probably her commercial probably go about 2 or 3 times. So yeah, she'll definitely be mentioned.
Yeah, the over under is set at half, so it's either yes or no. With over being overwhelming favorite there. Another Demi Lovato coaches challenge is always fun, and here we're at the MVP. Here's the MVP chart. Everything ranging from Patrick Mahomes all the way down to Quan Alexander. uh, I don't know. I think my value picks are leaving the quarterbacks out of it. I'll probably throw 10 at Raheem Mostert just in case. I'm really big on Kittle, Kelsey, and I think I'm gonna go Bosa to maybe have a big game. That would be 180 bucks to my 10. What are your thoughts? Any dark horses you think for
Ugh.
MVP? Or
Um,
are you really committed to Mahomes or Garoppolo?
no. Yeah, I mean, it's got to go quarterback. I would say 1 and 2 quarterbacks are going to win it. Um, if I was to say a value pick, I like Emmanuel Sanders since he's like the go-to weapon there on that offense. If they fall behind, he would be the guy that he's going to throw to the most. Um, I don't see a kicker there. Defensive player, if one, probably Boza maybe on there. DeForest Buckner would be the guy on the other end. Let's see. Yeah, quarterback, Emmanuel Sanders. And I like Kettle and Kelsey too. Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill can. Uh, it's against 49ers. I would say Emmanuel Sanders if it's not Mahomes or Garoppolo.
So you're gonna go Sanders if it's not Mahomes or Garoppolo. That'd be a nice little return there on $10, 450 bucks. I'm probably gonna throw 10 spots again. Gonna go with Mostert, Kelsey, Kittle, and Bosa probably. See if I can cover some there, get some value there. So those are your MVP picks. You can always come down here into the 30,000 range. Terrell Suggs maybe.
Does he even play? I haven't heard his name like in forever.
Dante Pettis, the most biggest disappointment of fantasy football this year. Ever who was like,
Jordan Matthews. Wow.
oh yeah, Jordan Matthews. That's a name you haven't heard in a while.
Go down a little bit.
And
Who's the
that's
that's who's the last guy there?
we got Sheldon Day.
Shit. Who's that?
I think he plays defense, right, for San Francisco. And the only reason I know that is because I'm pretty sure Sheldon Day went to Notre Dame. Levine Toilolo, another
That's a
50,
tight end.
55,000 odds, along with Dante Pettis. So let's see. How about total Donald Trump tweets, Simrad? Over under of 13 and a half.
Oh, under.
Under, I would think it's under also. He usually doesn't like sporting events.
Especially NFL.
We got some stocks. I always bet on this one. What color will the Gatorade be? Right now, the favorite's purple, which I thought was odd. I thought red was going to be the surefire.
Yeah, red.
I would
Red
go
up top.
red. Uh, so I'll probably bet heavy on red. We talked about coach to be mentioned, Andy Reid. Talking about uh, penalties. I always like this one too. Who will the Super Bowl MVP mention first in his speech? Teammates, God, city, coach, owner, or family members?
I gotta go God.
Gonna
Oh
go
yeah,
with God. God's actually second to teammates at this moment.
if
This
it's
is funny.
Garoppolo, how come they don't have porn stars on there?
Oh man, how about this one? Will Andy Reid coach the Super Bowl in a Hawaiian shirt?
All right. Gonna go with no on that one.
Minus 10,000 on that one. Just when I would love it though. Will Andy Reid eat a cheeseburger before the end of the Super Bowl broadcast?
Where does the whole cheeseburger thing come from?
Because he said after he beat the Titans that he was going to go have a cheeseburger.
Ah, that's what it was from. Okay.
That's what he wanted to do, just to go have a cheeseburger.
Anywhere specifically?
I don't know if he mentioned anywhere specifically. There's no free advertisements with Andy Reid. He's smart. He's waiting for that endorsement deal from Wendy's or whatever's up in Kansas City. Of course, this is always a fun one. If Dave Portnoy, who's founder of Barstool, is going to get kicked out of the Super Bowl again, which he has been the last few years. Will Nike release a commercial with Colin Kaepernick? He's not allowed to anymore, right? Is that part of his plea deal?
Well, I mean, it's not allowed to talk against it, but Nike can do one of those commercials. But I'd say no on that one. It's Kaepernick kind of like he's pretty much. I don't know. I don't see it happening.
This is great. Well, there'll be a doink off the upright or crossbar. Safeties. Flea flicker attempt. It's actually pretty close there. Will there be an onside kick attempt? Total number of commercials. Oh, here we go. Will Shakira have a wardrobe malfunction?
Nah, she wouldn't do that.
DJ Khaled. Oh, man. I would love to see DJ Khaled. Will Enrique make an appearance during the halftime show?
I wish.
Or Gloria Estefan. That would be good, too, for Miami.
They'll probably be in the stands watching the game. But
Mark Anthony. There's so many, right? Will Will Smith make an appearance?
Maybe as a genie.
Okay, just in time to sing Miami. So those are some fun prop bets. I'll probably throw a few dollars here and there on these. Probably one of my favorite parts of the Super Bowl are the ridiculous things you can wager on. I think that brings us to the end of our Super Bowl show. You got your picks here first. MRod going with the 49ers. Moose going with the Chiefs. Pretty excited. This Super Bowl weekend kind of snuck up on me. You know, didn't get a chance to see the Pro Bowl last week. It seemed like it was a pretty entertaining game. Shaq Barrett, of course, representing the Buccaneers. So, kind of snuck up on me, especially with work taking a lot of life over the past few weeks. So I'm happy. I got something to look forward to this weekend, Super Bowl Sunday.
Awesome.
Any plans for it?
Probably going over to a buddy's house. Usually go to. I've been there for like the past few Super Bowls. Usually pretty just chill, relax, watch some. Usually we eat some wings and watch some Super Bowl and just chill, talk. Nothing too crazy.
I know. Part of me wanted to take Monday off, and I'm like, I gotta save those PTO days. Anyway, I'm getting too old to party for the Super Bowl anyway, but we'll enjoy. We'll have a good time. That's been it for your crew at the Sports Heap. Again, don't forget about us on YouTube. Subscribe, hit that like button. Make sure you listen to our podcast and subscribe on there as well. Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Google, and Spotify. Hope you had a great time listening to the show. Episode 18 coming to an end. And as always, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at MRodTSH. You'll see it right below him over there on the screen. And below me right here at Moose_TSH on Twitter. We should be pretty active this weekend with the Super Bowl and Lightning back into action as well. We'll have the next episode of the Thunderdome Puckcast coming up probably on Saturday or Sunday. Once I reassemble the man cave, we got some new flooring coming in. Finally going to get rid of this mess that's been behind me. So it'll look nice and clean in here. It's been it for Moose and MRod. Have a great Super Bowl weekend. We'll see you next week for the Super Bowl recap and getting into some NHL and NBA action. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend. Drink responsibly and get a designated driver. you drink too much.
Take care.
$10.
Sports.